Welcome everybody. John Bergsma, host of Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest. Today's show, it's a fantastic walleye show from the St. Mary's River in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. Spinners over weeds for fantastic walleyes. Stay tuned. Well, we had a board pull back and we're fishing weed tops, so one of the things you want to definitely do is reel in. See, we've got a little weed right there. Caught just a piece of cabbage, and what do you think, Dane? Do you think that much weed stops him from biting?
That's close.
It's tough to say, but you're always just better off to check it. Go ahead and check it and reset your rod. When you get something really, when your board really goes back, you know, I don't assume there's weeds on, you know, when my boards act funny or my tattle flag's dragging a little, or if I've gone for, I don't know, long enough where I think maybe something's wrong, then I'll go ahead and check them. But that board fell back pretty good, and sure enough, there was a weed on it. Weed fishing is not for the lazy. If you're gonna weed fish, you gotta be willing to reel your stuff in frequently and check it. I always leave a little bit of slack right here in between my main clip and my back clip. That allows the tattle flag to work. See, if that was tight right there, if this was too tight, that tattle flag wouldn't go down. So it's real important to leave that little bit of loop of line there. And when you do get in, you can move that rod to the outside and this rod to the inside rather than trying to let that one all the way out, because seeing as we're in the weed clumps now, I can't let this out fast. I got to really inch it out. So we're headed out here today. We're going to try some weed bed fishing with inline spinners. Stay tuned. I think this is going to be a really good show. I was letting the board out, and that is a fish. He ripped it from me. I mean, he aggressively hit it. That's cool. Good. Well, we're right in that area, Dane, where we said the fish would be. Hopefully this will be a nice fish. That breaks the ice, Dane. Jeez. He hit it hard, but he did. He did. And that's it's the one drawback of these spinner harnesses, is they definitely little 15, 16-inch fish, but those are the best ones to eat. And let me show you, slide the bait down here and show you what we used. We have a little inline right here, little 1/2 ounce inline. Pulled that right to a silver Northland baitfish blade. And this is a real good color here, isn't it, Dane? Just that smelt imitation.
Probably the best blade you can use on this river system.
Yep, it's just a silver and blue. We hook it with a 3-hook crawler harness. He slammed it good in the middle hook, and again, just a nice little fish. When you're working these humps, Dane, talk just a little bit about speed control when you're working downstream, because downstream is the typical way you pull, right?
Yeah. Mainly what you do is, say if the current's running 1.2, especially with slow depth, you're going to run about 1.6. You just want to be running just a little bit ahead of the current with slow depth, just so you can get that worm to roll. If you're running spinners, you want to run about, I would say 0.6 to 0.8 miles
Faster than the current? Yeah.
Just to make that
blade thump? Yeah, so it's really, you're taking the speed of the current and you're just treating it, using that speed as 0 and adding to it the 0.8 to a mile an hour you'd normally pull. Like normally I'm in a spinner at 0.8 to 1.
Yep.
So if the current's 1.2, then I'm going to be spinnering at 2 to 2.1. I got it.
Additional consideration is provided by Budget Host of Sault Ste. Marie, providing travelers and fishermen clean and comfortable rooms at very affordable prices, and by Super 8 of Sault Ste. Marie, featuring updated rooms, great pool area, free hot breakfast, and easy parking. Additional consideration is provided by the Ramada Inn Ojibwe, offering premium accommodations, fabulous food, and stunning loch views, and by the Soo Lochs Boat Tours, Valley Camp Ship Museum, and the Tower of History, Sault Ste. Marie's most popular tourist destinations.
What we're doing to hook this spinner harness on is it's real important you get these crawlers hooked on correctly. You go right in the nose, then one right through the barrel, and then you don't want to get this last hook too far down. You want a little loop in your line. When that crawler stretches out, then the line will straighten up. So you'll have loops in your line when you're putting them on, but as that crawler relaxes in the water, then the loops will flatten out against the crawler and everything will be good. This one's going back out 35 feet behind the board. When you're setting these boards, and I've said this earlier, make sure you're thumbing it out and dropping it back, letting it out 5 feet at a time. Don't just go throwing it back there. You're liable to drop that spinner into a big clump of weeds, and then you're not going to be good from the get-go. Just go ahead and let it out 5 feet, drop it back, let the board catch back up. Once you get it about halfway to where you want to be, you can go ahead and put it in the rod holder, and then I was doing this exact thing when that fish hit. I was just standing here thumbing the line out, and he went ahead and took it. So I use these Trax Tech's rod holder system. It comes on a rail mount, and this is the three-prong tree, which is a really cool system because you can run 3 out rods, and then I have a flat rod right here where I pull a bottom bouncer, and it lets you set a lot of rods out, keep them all organized, keep them from getting all together, and in the end game, that helps you catch more fish. No, I was letting it out again. It's crazy. Both times I was letting it out, Dane, we got a fish. Yeah, no. Let him out. Well, that's literally, this is a better fish too. I was letting this rod out again, and it just jerked right out of my hand. So, I don't know if that's a pattern. I hope not. I don't want to have to sit and let rods out all day long. But it's definitely a nice fish. Sorry. Love how that tattle flag works. You see that flag laid down right there. That was a perfect indication of a fish. Now I got my other rod here, Dane. Yeah, he's right there. I may have my other rod, but it is a decent fish. That's a better fish. That's a real good fish, Dano. And that's that same bait fish Northland bead pattern. It's almost funny because if you look close here, there's a weed coming right out of this fish's mouth. I mean, this is how absolutely weed committed these are. And this is that Northland blade that we're using. We caught one on the Colorado blade, the last fish. This next fish was on a little small willow leaf blade. Same pattern, same blue beads, much better fish, but yeah, I mean, I think the fish are a little deeper, Dane.
Yeah.
Yep, if this was a tournament and I was fishing a tournament right now, we've caught 3 fish within probably 100 yards of each other, and we've been making long passes, and I'm thinking that's another thing. Even on open water fish, it could be structure orientated. It could be that there's one patch of weeds out here the size of a football field that's catching fish, and I think it's obvious now after 3 times through this area for 1 hour passes that we've got to shorten these passes up to 15 or 20 minutes and literally set up right above the active zone, go through the active zone, and then pull. It's not the easiest way to fish, but it works.
Not consistently like this. I think we have a new game plan.
Exactly. I'm not going to put one of these rods in the rod holder. We've struggled today, admittedly. I mean, we've had a hard time, and mile-high blue skies nonetheless, but I'm trying to put something together, and so far it seems like it was not coincidence that every single time I was dropping a board back we got a fish, because now I stood here and pumped this rod for 5 minutes and caught another one. We'll get back to it. Well, we have worked to locate these fish today. Oh, and they are tight to about a spot about the size of a football field in a patch of weeds. And they're not big fish by any means. Oh, it's a small little pike. Little mixed bag here. I don't want to lose my spinner because it's been the spinner that's catching fish. But a fish nonetheless, and that means there's activity in the area. Looks like he got hit by another larger pike. He's missing the top part of his dorsal right there.
Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest is brought to you by Lowrance Electronics, fish the finest. This segment is brought to you by Trax Tech, the ultimate fishing system.
You know, the Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan area is one of those historic areas that just happens to have awesome fishing. The St. Mary's River connects the Sault Ste. Marie town area with the Muskong Bay, and then down south even more the Detour Passage. This river system is so amazing because it is one of the few places in America where you can go and troll for salmon in a river. You can cast for world-class smallmouth and largemouth bass in that same river system, and you can host some of the biggest and most major walleye fishing tournaments that the world has ever known right here in the St. Mary's River system. Sault Ste. Marie is truly a fisherman's paradise. Now, it's known for the Soo Locks. That really is one of the most fun things about fishing here, because every time I come and fish here, it's almost like I get scared to death when one of these freighters goes by and blasts his horn or something and scares the tar out of you. But when I sit back and really start to realize the history of the town, the incredible fishing, and the incredible sights and scenery where I can see 1,000-foot lake freighter come roaring by me a half a mile away and see a bald eagle soaring above the freighter, all in the same circumstance. That just doesn't happen in very many places, but it happens here in Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan. You know, one of the things that makes the Sault Ste. Marie area fun when you're off the water is the history of the community, the Tower of History, the Valley Camp, the boat tours. This is really a place where when you leave the water, you've got things to do. Touring the Valley Camp. The Valley Camp is literally an ocean freighter that's been beached and now docked right there in Sault Ste. Marie, and you can enter that ship and they take you through and show you what it was like to be a staff member out on the water on one of these ships. It's just super interesting stuff. You've got amazing food. You've got, you know, downtown historic hotels like the Ramada Ojibwe and Freighter View Restaurant. Freighter View Restaurant is where you can go in, have a steak or lunch, look out a massive set of glass windows and watch again a freighter go right by the front of the restaurant. That's just, it's almost ridiculous how cool the setting is. The boat tours are just fun. You load your family on the boat, you go through the locks, you get a narrated tour of exactly how it works. It's history right in front of you. Dinner cruises on the same boat tour line. You know, and the community itself really embraces fishing. This is a town that's got a tournament going every single month of the summer, you know, of some species, and that's really important, that the community embraces fishing and encourages people to come and take advantage of the fantastic fishery here in the Sault. Coming in nice, nice fish too. Well, I was saying we just decided to take a different angle at this spot, and really got a nice fish, same color. What was that, Dane, about 15 foot over some weed clumps again?
Yep.
Exact same pattern. 30, oh, we got another fish on. Well, we're into some weeds, and that's where our boards are jumping back, and we've got fish on the bottom, and so we're just gonna keep plugging away at this. We're gonna keep this one for the frying pan. Nice sized fish for eating.
This segment brought to you by Ely, Minnesota. On the Boundary Waters Canoe Area, Ely, one of North America's last pure wilderness experiences.
All right, today we have our coconut crusted perch and sweet potato. Now we have to do our sweet potato ahead of time because it takes about an hour at 400 in the oven, and our perch will take 5 minutes on the stove. So here we go. Take your olive oil, put it over your sweet potato. It keeps it moist while it's cooking. A little garlic salt. I just gotta wrap her up. Now she's good to go in the oven. All right, today we have coconut crusted perch we're gonna do up. We've left the skin on but scaled it, so it leaves a little extra flavor. But before we start to cook it, we gotta do up our batter. So for our batter, we have egg wash, which is 2 eggs, 1/3 cup of milk. Put that in there. And you just gotta whisk that up a little bit. I use a fork because that's how I grew up. All right, that's ready to go. And then we have our panko breadcrumbs. Toss those in there. 1/3 cup of that and 1/3 cup of coconut. Just mix that up with your hand. Now we'll head on over to the stove, fry up these perch. A great side dish for the coconut crusted perch is zucchini and squash. I have a zucchini right here that I'm gonna show you how to cut up. I've halved it, and we leave it in about 1/2-inch pieces. That way when you cook it up, it leaves a little meatiness to it. It's not gonna be all flimsy. Toss them in here. Now we're gonna go throw it in butter and garlic salt on the stove to saute it up. We have our pan really hot, so it's time to put the perch in. Gotta batter it up. Stick it in the panko and coconut mixture. Make sure you cover it up pretty good. And that's the sizzle we want to hear. It's gonna be good. I love coconut. All right, it's been about 2 minutes, so we're gonna flip them over. Oh, it is beautiful. Time to plate them up with the zucchini and the squash and the sweet potato. All right, it's time to cook up the zucchini and squash for the coconut crusted perch. Got our butter heated up. All you gotta do is toss it in there. Get it all coated with the butter, cover it up. About 2-3 minutes, check it, make sure you got some color on it, and then take it off and plate it up. All right, we have enough color on our veggies now, and they're almost done cooking. They're gonna cook a little bit more, so you take them off about a minute early, plate them up. Something a little different that you'll love, our coconut crusted perch, sweet potato, squash and zucchini. Another fan favorite.
Well, that's a classic example of picking up all the lines, getting ready to go in. We've had a fantastic afternoon out here with Dane over on Sault Ste. Marie, and the last board in, literally the last line in, I'm telling you what, I'm happy to catch these fish all day long. This is actually quite a nice one. And when you can go out, when you can go out and catch good fish easily, like we've done today, we put ourselves close to the weeds.
It's got sections. We got obviously the spring, May to probably June 15th, then it slows down until July, and then basically there's a big bug hatch for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then when that bug hatch is dying off, which it's starting to right now, all the fall fishing is probably the best time of year for your big pike, big muskie.
Dane took us out and showed us a fantastic time on Sault Ste. Marie. If you're looking for a fantastic place to come and just catch fish and enjoy the history that is the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, Sault Ste. Marie is Michigan's first city, and there's no prettier place, is there, Dane?
No, everyone's pretty laid back, great people, and great community.
Absolutely. So thanks for watching today. We appreciate you watching our show. This is John Bergsma from the Fisherman's Digest. Good fishing from Sault Ste. Marie.
Closed captioning provided by the Quality Inns of Escanaba, Manistee, and St. Ignace on US 2 in the Eastern Upper Peninsula.